Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by people who are sick to fuck of 5e like I am.
You are speaking for yourself, sir.
I thought I like the idea of me promising to be nice about it and then opening the show with that.
Ass. He's such an ass. Especially when I'm distracted. I'm like doing the little kid thing. Like I look at my thumb. I'm like trying to clean whatever this is off my leg. Anyways, I was in a rush to eat lunch before getting on, so I just was like,
How are you?
Good. It's Memorial Day weekend over here in the States, and so it's a long weekend. We have Monday off.
Yeah, we've got Monday off as well, but I don't because I'm doing a 12-hour shift tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, it's money. It's overtime.
That's
Overtime,
fair. That's
money.
fair. My mental health. I have one more week of training. Thank God, and that's over. But I was like, wait, I get a day where I don't have to train. Count me in. I had a girlfriend ask me. She was like, "Can you come over and spend the night and hang out?" I'm like, "I'm on it." So I just drove 4 hours there, spent the weekend, drove 4 hours back just in time to eat and get my ass in the chair to hang out with y'all.
Yay! We're happy you're here. We're happy here. And not only is it Memorial Day weekend over in the States, it is even more momentous because it's the last weekend that we dedicate to 5e.
Yes.
This forever. That's it. Once this month is done, it's gone.
No.
There's no fucking point talking about it
I
again.
haven't agreed to that. Maybe in your demented little headspace, sure, but I've not agreed to that.
It's out the way. So the next time somebody goes, "Oh, why don't you ever talk about 5e?" Hey, check out. We've got 4 episodes right here. So you can chew on them and shut the fuck up.
I mean, here's the truth of the matter. You can have your opinion and still be wrong.
As true as that may be.
It's very true. But no, I am excited for next month. Are we talking about what we're doing next month?
I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's going to surprise anyone, considering the month that it is. I don't think anyone's going to kind of go, "Well, didn't see that."
It's crocodile themed, everybody.
There we go. It's Crocodile Month. We have to tell people now. So, yes, it is the last weekend that we do 5e.
It is. And you know what's funny is that, like, I'm okay with that, but only because I'm excited. Like, I don't like being put in a box. So I'm ready for next month. Next month, if y'all couldn't catch on to the crocodile being a joke,
yes,
we're doing Happy Pride.
Pride.
Yeah,
Happy Pride. It's something that's near and dear. It's something that, we feel very strongly about.
Absolutely.
And we want to say a big fuck you to anybody who disagrees on that aspect.
I was about to say, John, no joke. I was like, I want to respect everyone's opinions. If you're offended by that, then I apologize that you're offended. I'm not apologizing for us, but I'm apologizing that you're offended and you can fuck off and not listen to our podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it and, show our support.
Yeah. I'm excited.
What we do need, because I mean, I'm sure that these things are going to be very easily found. I've already got a bunch of things lined up, but if there's anything that you want us to focus on, if there's any, LGBTQIA plus creators that you want us to take a look at, just message us and kind of shine the light on them, and then we can take a look. Otherwise, we will carry on as planned because I've already got things lined up to talk about on the junk aspect.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got stuff lined up too. Like, I'm ready to roll with this. But if you guys have something you want to highlight, like John said, throw it at us. Yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
Rob, our dear friend Rob Dartholdius is in the chat and he's bummed because it's not crocodile. He said he's going to work on his Aussie accent next month.
We need to do a crocodile theme now.
We're going to have to.
Can't be July because we've got Julys already.
Oh, we do have July already.
We've got Julys already.
We do.
That's another one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so let's get this one out the way. Let's talk about 5e.
This. But before we talk about 5e, how was your gaming week?
My gaming week was non-existent.
Oh, shit. This is going to be an interesting episode then.
No, I mean, it was just a scheduling issue on the Monday, so we couldn't do Winter's game. And then on the Wednesday, I woke up and then when I went to bed, I had one less tooth. So I had an extraction. So I could have probably run a game, but I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to aggravate anything. So I decided to take the night off.
Good thing you did. That's kind of a teeth mouth is no. I don't like people messing with my teeth. Like, no.
See, I haven't had a tooth taken out since I was in like my teenage years.
had my wisdom teeth, all four, taken out when I was in college at the same time during I was in choir concert, geeky fact about Atlas. And my choir director, I told him ahead of time, I was like, hey, they're taking out, yeah, I was like, they're taking out all four of my wisdom teeth. So I'm kind of fucked for like a solid 2-3 weeks because I'm a slow healer. And he was like, okay, just can you promise me you'll learn the music? I'm like, yeah, thankfully. I, in a past life, was a musician, so I could actually memorize the music without having to sing it. Scared the living daylights out of that man, though. We showed up for one of our performances, and he's like, "You sure you're ready?" I'm like, "I'm ready." It was great, but yeah, chat is lit up, by the way, about the idea of Pride Croc. So we might actually have some Pride merch this month, to be honest, involving a
I
Pride
mean,
Croc.
I think, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's
yeah,
do Pride Croc.
yeah. I'll
It will
get
be it
I'll
will
get
be
an image
our
up.
Pride mascot.
Yeah, why not? Crocodile Pride. Prides are crocodiles. Crocodiles are prideful too. I'm done. Did I mention that I drove for 8 hours this weekend?
No, but I'm sure it'll come up during the course of the show at some point.
Yeah, no, English is going to be really, really bad, but it's all good. It's all good. It's great. It's wonderful. But no.
So to kind of celebrate the last 5e themed episode we're doing, and to kind of put the nail firmly in that coffin.
Oh gosh.
I've actually got 2 things to talk about today on the junk.
Interesting.
2 things. I could potentially do 3, but let's have a look at
Holy
what
shit.
time it is. So yeah, a couple of things that I want to bring out.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have some good lengthy answers too for our question of the week.
Good.
I was shocked. I was expecting like 1 sentences, 2 sentences of like, oh yeah, no, I did this thing once. No, we got stories. We got
Good.
stories, yeah.
Look,
But
looking
you had
forward
a
to hearing
non-existent game week,
them.
and funny enough, I had a non-existent game week. There was some.
Oh, it's going to be a fun episode.
That's why I said that. I was like, oh, cool. I had the option of running game last week, and there is just some like real life issues and drama going on outside of the party. And so I had to make the executive decision to just not. Like, tensions were high. We probably should have ran game because a game is very therapeutic for a lot of people, but it was bad enough that I was like, I don't feel comfortable running or playing, so we're just gonna hang out as friends. And so we're making up for it this weekend, though, because tonight, right after this, while I'm still sleep deprived, I'm going to run over to my party, and I'm going to run the first session, and we're going to do a back-to-back feature. I'm going to run, and then the other GM, Connell, he's going to run his game. So we're literally like, to spoil the players, make up for it, have a good time, happy holidays. Nobody works tomorrow morning, so yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes, we can't indulge in the hobby the way we want to indulge with them. However,
exactly.
I'm still very much switched on. I'm not one of these people who doesn't game and I kind of focus on something else. Mm-hmm. If I'm not gaming, I'm prepping.
Yes. Yep.
Whether it's prepping for Delta Green, because I've got a new player coming in. So I've basically prepped the way that we're getting him into the story.
Yeah, you're talking about that last time. I'm excited.
Yeah, where he's coming from. So essentially what it is, do I say anything because people won't? No, I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep that one to myself.
Okay.
And I'll tell you in a couple of weeks' time after the players have seen what I've done.
Sounds good. I'm excited. I'm very much looking forward to it. We're possibly plotting an assassination attempt tonight in one game, and in the other game, we are investigating what could be like an underlayer forge, like secret hidden layer type thing.
Okay.
We'll find out. Yeah. So both are kind of big games. That's why I'm excited. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be 1-2 hitter. But I'm with you. Like I need the game. I love gaming. It feels good to game. It feels good to run game. But if I don't have food in my system, like I have wonky sugar issues. And so like I hadn't eaten and I was crashing and I felt nauseous. And I'm like, I can't run like this. And no, that's like,
yeah, it is like anything. It is like anything that you do, anything that requires any sort of focus. If you're not, if you don't have the fuel to be able to do that, you're not going to be able to do it properly.
Right. Yeah. And we've talked about this before about how like, even if you keep it separate, right? Even if you keep personal life outside of game life, and even if you use game to be therapeutic for real life, it will leak over a little bit somehow, whether it's in gameplay, NPC play, out of character. somehow it kind of can blend. Because it's really hard to keep that separate, and I just didn't want to blend. I was like, this is a bad night for anything to leak over. I'm gonna segregate
It is
the Kool-Aid from the milk. Is that a thing?
it is a sand. The Kool-Aid from the milk.
Okay, I have to ask you something.
1 second, 1 second. I am just adding a marker. Separate the Kool-Aid from the
Kool-Aid
milk.
from the milk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Atlas has done it once again. She's given me an episode title.
I'm curious now, though. Has anybody drinking Kool-Aid in milk? Like, instead of mixing water, you mix it with milk?
I'm sure they have.
Is that a thing? Let us know in the comments or chat. Like, because if not, I'll try it next week.
I think we know what Kool-Aid is. We don't necessarily have it over here. We've got similar stuff.
You know, it's Kool-Aid Man busting through your walls, going, "Oh yeah!"
Yes, I learned about the Kool-Aid Man from Family Guy.
Oh, that's a horrible place to learn from it from.
So then it was like,
from 90s kids commercials.
Okay, so now I need to investigate where that particular joke came from. And yeah, so Kool-Aid. So it is similar to, we do have, is it a powder?
Yeah.
So yeah, we used to have, in Spain, there always used to be something called Tang.
Yeah, okay. Tang's good. I like Tang. It's completely different, but yeah, it's similar, but different.
Similar product, different flavor, I'm imagining.
Yeah, it's like 5e.
No, but Tang's good.
So it's Kool-Aid. That was my next question was, I don't know if anyone else did this, but I went to an Apache reservation one time and the kids got me hooked on a snack that they love. Because I was like, do you want to like go get candy? Do you want to go get whatever? And they're like, no. Go get pickle spears, like kosher sour pickle spears, like just whatever. And Kool-Aid packets, like the single square packets. And have you ever heard of Fun Dip? Like the candy where you lick the sugar stick, you stick it in the like powdered sugar and you eat it. They do have pickles. They take the pickle, they stick it in the Kool-Aid powder and eat the pickle like that. And it's so sour, but it's so good. Like, yeah. Shockingly good. And everybody that I talked to is like, that's so disgusting. Like, you got to try it though. It'll lock your jaw. It's that sour, but it's good. It's so good. But yeah, maybe I'll try Kool-Aid and milk next week.
Give it a whirl. You never know. I mean, I think pretty much anything that goes with water, you can put milk in it. I imagine.
I wonder if that'd be like a orange like creamsicle flavor.
I imagine that it'll be thicker in a way.
I don't know how I feel about thick Kool-Aid.
Well, while you're dealing with that mental crisis, Connell has asked me a question in the chat. He's asked whether I prefer 5e or Pathfinder. Easy answer, Pathfinder.
Yeah.
All the way.
I feel like he did ask that last week.
I've seen all these 5e variants. Seriously, fuck 5e. Fuck all the variants. I've got no interest in them.
I'd prefer not to fuck anything, personally.
The reason being is I always saw 5e as a step up from Pathfinder First Edition, because I found it was. I found that Pathfinder First Edition came out first. 5e came out having learned the mistakes or a lot of the mistakes from 3.5, rectified them and created a more streamlined system, which was great at the time. But now we're like 10 years later. Pathfinder 2nd Edition came out and it did the same thing. It learned from its previous edition, but it also learned from 5e. So I think it is a tighter system. It is very much well thought out. The rules kind of all click properly. The only problem is I don't like either of those systems anymore.
Yeah, we know.
But out of the two of them, Pathfinder 100%.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense for you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's my answer to Connell's question.
Well, there you go, Connell. Thanks for asking John the question.
I know. But it is 5e month, so we are talking about it. It's not all going to be pleasant.
No. I just feel like that question gets asked a lot. But it's okay. Next week, though, I hope you have some good stuff for John's Junk, because I'm excited and I have plenty of stuff on my end. Like, I'm excited. Pride Month is going to be lit. Will any of it be pleasant? Will any of what be pleasant, Rob, in chat?
Will any of it be pleasant? What? Well, I don't know what Rob is on about.
Oh, I think he was talking about you and 5e. Probably not.
No, probably not. No, just Connell's put. Connell finds that people generally like Pathfinder 2e because of the action economy, which I agree it is a big selling point to it. But for me, what got me really, really into it and what I appreciated the most was the trait system. It just simplifies when you're dealing with so many rules. Having the trait system just simplifies it massively. Instead of having a rule per item, you just have you have groupings, and that's what the trait system is. I thought that was fantastic.
See, and I'll always pick 5e over Pathfinder because I feel like I have more freedom with 5e, especially with level up. We've talked about the maneuvers and how like everything is separated. So it's not, like you said, it's not tied to each other. And I love that. I love that so much because it's like, you know, initiative used to be like, oh, you roll this and this for initiative. And it's like, that makes no sense for this character who is this and this based. And so when my characters, I'll be like, all right, roll initiative. They know basic line what they're supposed to roll. But for example, if one of them's like, yeah, well, I'm literally stealthing, shouldn't that count for something? I'm like, hell yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah,
that's one of the things that they brought into Pathfinder is where you can go. What I do like about level up is what you were saying, I think it was last week, where the skills aren't attached to attributes.
Yeah,
because I dislike that. I think
they're completely separate.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Which I think's fantastic. Which I think they should be. And that was Bind when we had Marlin on the show, who kind of highlighted that to me. It's not something that ever dawned on me, but in his system, he had all his different skills and all his different attributes in a table. So he had examples of how those things interconnect. For example, climbing, you could use athletics, but you could also use intelligence by spotting the best route to take.
That's cool.
And the way he explained it was like, holy shit, that never actually dawned on me.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense to me. And like for me, it's not like what would my character do? Because that can really ruin a session. But like it's just common sense. For example, one of my I don't know what to call them because when I'm running, it's one of my players, but when Connell's running, it's a co-player, a table mate. I don't know what to call them, but one of my fellow gamers, we'll call it that. One of my fellow table gamers messaged me like out of the blue last week, right? What?
It's just that you complicated someone you know. Job done.
But it's not someone I know. He's a friend and he's at our table consistently in both games.
Okay, a friend of mine.
A friend of mine at my table, whatever.
How do you complicate things?
I'm tired because I'm tired. Anyways, a friend of mine who I play with. See that weird? That sounds weird though. Like,
why does that sound weird? Just because you've got a dirty mind?
I mean, that's fair.
Just because you've got.
No. Messaged me out of the blue. Messaged me completely out of the blue. Like our group had been role playing like in Discord. Like the session was over and there were some like after credit scenes that like we were all role playing in a group chat type situation. And he messaged me out of the blue and it was so funny because it dawned on him out of like we hadn't rolled anything. I hadn't said anything in chat. It was just one of those things I think he was thinking about last session and then putting together some things that I had said during the role play. And he goes, "Is your warlock wisdom based?" And I was like, "Yup." And he goes, "That's so cool. I've always wanted to do that, but I've never been in a game where I could just basically build a character off of the character, not like the min-max stats and stuff." And I was like, yeah, no, like we decided when we were building her storyline that it made more sense for her to be wisdom based because there's stuff going on. She has no clue. It's just it's intuitive. She didn't study it. It's just there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, these sort of things is, I mean, I'm getting more and more excited for Savage Worlds. The more I'm reading into it and the more, to be honest, the more it's making me revisit a lot of like the 5e stuff I have because I'm never going to play 5e or run it or anything like that, nor am I going to do Path. But I do have a lot of material for those systems, which I can just run in Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of eyeing up stuff like, you know, the Curse of Strahd and stuff like that.
Here's the deal. If this tells you anything, and this might ruin it for some of my players because I think 2 or 3 of them are listening to the show, but y'all can just pretend you didn't hear it. This won't spoil anything. For a mini game, not a whole campaign, but for a mini game, I am rolling together. I'm taking notes from Curse of Strahd, Nosferatu and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Bluebeard and Household.
Okay.
And it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. And here's the kicker. It's not a horror game.
No,
so,
I'm interested.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. It's going to be complicated for me as a GM they can just show up, roll up, and have fun. But it's gonna be complicated for me, but in a good way. I'm really, really looking forward to challenging myself. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that.
Well, seeing as I didn't have any gaming this week, I did make strides in setting things up for Delta Green,
Oh,
which is going
okay.
to be happening because I've got a bunch of Foundry modules for Delta Green. So I'm now setting up Foundry on my Mac.
Okay, yeah.
So
Oh yeah, you're a Mac guy. Everything makes sense about you now.
Why was that supposed to mean? Come
I
on.
have to explain it.
Out with it. Out with it. Come on.
No, I missed my I had a MacBook Pro for one of my jobs that I loved, but I'm a PC girl now.
I mean, I've used computers since I was a kid, and
yeah, same.
I've done the whole Linux thing. I've done,
yeah.
You know, I've been compiled my own systems, and I don't know. I just went one day. I want to try Macs now, and I just they do what I need them to do, and that's all there is to it.
I had a very heavy like video editing special effects job, and I didn't have to buy the laptop. They're like, hey, tell us what specs you need, we'll get you the computer. And I was like,
nice.
Okay. But when I left the job, I left the computer, so
that's fair enough.
That's fair. It's fair, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited about gaming. I'm excited about, and what's funny is as I'm drawing near the end of my 5e campaign, my level up campaign, there's a little itty bitty little tinkling sparkly side of me that's like, but I don't want to stop playing level up. Do you ever do that? Do you ever finish a game or a system and then you're like, oh, that was really good, do I have to leave? Is that
it's the fear of change. It's the fear of don't get me wrong, when I did kind of decide I was moving away from one system, it wasn't something I did lightly. It wasn't something I went, oh well, fuck this.
Yeah.
It was a genuine sort of crisis. It was I've invested 10 years of my life. I've invested so much time into campaigns. I've invested so much money into this, and I'm walking away from it. Yeah. It wasn't an easy decision. But it's one I'm glad I made, to be fair.
This is the longest campaign I think I've had possibly ever. I didn't expect it to go this long. My players just kind of decided to throw that at me, which is fine. I'm fine with it. As long as they're entertained, I'm entertained. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful learning experience. I'm super excited for what we get to adventure through next together. I think I've got some surprises for them because I don't think they're expecting what I'm going to throw at them next. I've hinted at the mini game, the household one. They know about that. But what's coming after that, I don't think any of them are ready for or expecting. So it's gonna be good. I'm gonna put my big girl panties on and try a big game. So we'll see.
Well, they better hope for some nat 20s, sorry, even.
Nat 20. On that note, speaking of nat 20s,
there you go. It was a bit of a fumble for the setup.
It was a massive fumble, but I'll give it to you.
But we are talking about fumbles and crits, so.
We are talking about fumbles and crits in this week's question, which Rob asked. He's like, did I miss this week's question? And yes, Rob, I think you did, because I only have, I think, 3. Unless, did you get any on yours, John?
I did not.
Okay, all right.
No, so
but I got long ones. They're long and hefty, so buckle up.
All right, let's do this.
So the question was, what is your greatest nat 20 success or heartbreaking nat 1 crit fail? Because 5e is all about the hitting the 20 or hitting the 1, right? Like that is your boundaries. And we got some interesting replies. I'm going to start bottom to top in case you're following along, John.
I am following along.
I'm out to Slayer, which you would not believe how long it took me to read that username for me to figure out what the hell. I was like, I'm out to Slayer, out to slay, out to Slade, out to Slayer. Oh, out to Slayer. I barely know her. Okay. On Threads replied, I started a new campaign this year with some friends, and in our 3rd session, we were put into a 4-on-4 arena battle that was supposed to be just for show. Unfortunately, while I was an upfront fighter, I tried backing off with low HP. The DM crit hit me with an attack of opportunity that did enough damage to kill my character outright. Traumatized the poor NPC who did it. But did it traumatize you? Are you okay? Because I feel like if my GM nat 1, like, smash, there I go, sploosh into pieces, I would have beef with that GM slightly. I'd be like, wait a minute.
Why? It's character death. It happens.
It does happen, but like, it's my first episode like, whatever. Like, I feel like that's not telling a story. That's just wiping my character off the board before I get to play it.
And that character was a bit shit. Get a new one. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. I'm going to remind you of that, John.
I've literally had a character die last month, and it's like, all right.
In chat, we're gonna switch over real quick. Sam says she's still paying for hers in Mutants and Masterminds. What she's referring to, she didn't write in an answer, but I'm gonna give it to her anyways because it was a really hilarious one. She rolled a nat 1 or a nat 20. Someone to remind me if it's nat 1 or nat 20. It was nat something, and she, as a witchy character, read black inky Latin-like words on a piece of paper that poofed into smoke and turned into a possession of sorts. It's like, it's that big red button thing. You never press the big red button. Well, she read the big red button, and we're all like, no. Things are still happening in game because of it. So don't read the Latin, guys. Don't read the Latin. All right. And then Chainsaw Flower Child. I haven't heard from them in a long time. They're great on Threads.
Shout out to them.
Yep.
Thanks for getting in touch.
Absolutely. It states that I had one in my current 5e game. We were in a subjugated dwarven city of people who were being punished for their misdeeds from 100 years earlier. Sounds like a grudge match, in my opinion. Got sucked into a time blip, and we're 100-ish years in to witness the misdeeds ourselves. Naturally, we caused mayhem as time-traveling murder hobos led by a kinder rogue would. On our way out, the lab assistant guy died just after reactivating the time travel machine. The countdown said we had 4 rounds to defend the room before we blipped. The team launches the defense, and I instead search the room for anything that will help the dwarves of the future. Finding nothing, I search the guide and roll a nat 20 on an investigation with a psionic die, tossed in and rolled an 8 for a total of 39. I find a signet ring that identified him as one of the future lords that hated my group and the dwarfs. After the warp happened, the GM decided we needed an extended break. When we blipped back, the subjugated city was no longer subjugated. Everything was different. Months later, out of the game, I found out that in the past, a changeling had found that ring and took over that future lord's life. And because of the science they were doing there, he elected to subjugate the dwarves. Because I rolled over the target of 35, which, hello, high number, to find that ring, he couldn't become that lord. Dwarves were never subjugated, and the exited timeline change. Excited timeline change? The expected timeline?
It is excited in the thing.
Yeah,
I don't think
excited.
it's what it was meant.
No, it's okay. I was like, wait, did I just read that wrong?
Excited
timeline change. That is epic. And that's always one of those stories that I'm like, that's a good story. And I'm very curious if the GM like intended that, or if it was like, oh, okay, well, we're running with it. You know, I always want to like get into a GM's head, and I'm always suspicious. Like, even if I did ask a GM, would they be honest? I don't know, but that's a good one.
I would be.
Yeah, and then we have one more. Do you want to read that one, or are you just?
Can do. I'll give you a bit of a break.
Drink my water.
This is from Corey Painter. Corey, big shout out. Thanks, like always, for writing in. So the Corey says, I ran a story where the party had to get info from someone in a large prison. So they got arrested on purpose to get info and then break out in this huge riot. They recruited a guy and were breaking him out as well. After taking out some guards in a room, they broke open a special weapons locker and found magic items that became signature weapons for their characters. There was a bag of beads in there that didn't really check, but knew it was magic. I asked him to roll, and it was a nat 20. He was outside of the room with just a bit of range, but not a simple toss. I sat for a minute thinking and asked, so are you lobbing or throwing it, like dexterity or strength? They said they're throwing it, and with a nat 20, they threw it too hard, and the beads were explosive. So when the guy caught, he exploded. We all had a great laugh, and it's a very memorable moment. That was probably a little rough on the poor guy. That's where a nat 20 kind of punishes you.
Yeah, which I like. I mean, that probably says something about my psyche, but I always like it was like nat 20, you did the thing you wanted to do, but also this, and this, which I have a really good story of. But before that, I want to hit chat up because Rob in chat did put his answer of the week in there for us. Partner had one in my friend's Rift Space game. We went into a mob boss's lair, and her PC pulled her pistol and critted the psychic, ending the fight before it began. Like, okay. I feel like as a GM, I'd just be like, that actually did happen to me. I played the honey pot game. The honey something.
Honey heist.
Yes, that. I did a version of Honey Heist. I did my own version of it, and literally, my bear boys ran in. That sounds weird. The players ran in as bears, and like
I'm imagining a very different scenario.
So tired. But I have to GM tonight, guys. I have to GM tonight. Oh, heifer. But anyways, the bears came in and literally, like, in less than a round, completely killed out my my BBEG, the ringmaster. And then I was like, what do I do? So I punted real fast and I was like, all right, now there's a riddle and a spell, and you got to figure that out to get to the hunt too.
So do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah. They were two that stick out to my mind. I mean, I have nat ones a lot, and I have an occasional nat 20 that's just good shit. Like just recently I rolled a nat 20 and I don't even remember what it was, but it was cool. But like the two that stick out to my mind is I was a baby player in two different terms, and I'll explain that in a hot second. But the nat 20s that stick out to my mind are not the nat 20s of like, I did this amazing heroic thing. It's like, oh no, I went too hard, too far. So my very, 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 very first campaign I ever played, I was a dwarf fighter. I'd never played D&D before, never played anything before. And I think it was my like second, maybe third session in. So like I was familiarizing myself with the game, but I had not really gotten the ins and the outs of like the code you talk to your GM of like, oh, make sure you say this so your GM knows, you know, you're not like trying to do lethal or things like that. And a druid who had gone crazy was kidnapping children from a village. And very, very long story short, me and the entire party are underground and we're tense. Everything is stressful. There's like a werebear with a whole bunch of kids that we're trying to talk down from, like, you know, don't murder the children type situation. And the druid walks in, and I was dual wielding. I was a dual wielding dwarf, right? And without thinking, I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna throw my axes at him, and I did nat 20, and it was like thick, and like instant, he was gone. And like, I remember the GM like, all right, good job. How do you want to do this? He's dead. And my face just was like, I didn't mean to do that. Like, we still need to get questions out of this dude. And I was like, and everybody at the table was going like, oh my gosh, me as a baby player, I'm traumatized, like, oh no. Like, oh no. And then the other one is Mutants and Masterminds. I was playing a character named Lady Blade. As the name portrays, she had a basically Excalibur, and she was trying to stop some gangsters, and hard R on purpose, gangsters. And it's really hard to be non-lethal with the sword. That's all I'm gonna say. So when you nat 20 with the sword, it's kind of like. But yeah, that's.
So two I can think of, both as a GM.
Mm-hmm.
First one was in my Pathfinder 2e homebrew that came to a close earlier last year. The party arrived at Cheliax. They escaped their fate.
Cheliax.
That's it's a name of a city in Pathfinder lore.
I like it.
And in that city, I'd implanted basically a Batman insert. So there was a vigilante of sorts. So I think I called them the Hood or something along those lines. I can't remember those specifics.
I like it.
But I wanted a storyline. I mean, it was quite a complex storyline that I'd written. But this character, this NPC, this vigilante, was quite important, was quite relevant to the story. So I had to do an introductory scene. I had to do a scene in which this character was introduced. So the party go down to the docks to find some shenanigans that shouldn't have been going on to put a stop to them. The sort of shenanigans that a vigilante might be interested in. So they get into a combat, quite a tough combat with some slavers, and it wasn't out of the realms of possibility, but it was a severe combat they were facing because Vigilante was going to show up and do that. So I make this, and all of a sudden you see a figure on top of a building, cloaked figure. And that figure then jumps off the building. And instead of just letting the narrative stay there, I rolled acrobatics. And nat 1. So imagine the scene where you've got essentially Batman jumping off the top of a building and twisting his fucking ankle.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, it was. I could have just kept it in the narrative. I could have lied about my role and just went, "Oh yeah, they make it," but I didn't. I went, "Fuck it, I'm gonna keep it." And the other one was in Rise of the Rune Lords. It was book 2. I want to say book 2, where the the party come upon like a farmstead, very much Deliverance like.
Yeah.
And they get attacked by, and I think it's trolls that are ogres. I don't know, one of the two. But they get attacked by, and they got attacked by one of them. And we had a character who was basically a bastion. His job was to protect other people. He was a big sort of, I don't know what class he was, but he had a tower shield and he would plant himself in front of people with a stupidly high AC. So what he did, he had an ability where he could switch positions with another member of the party
That.
in order to kind of position himself. And he did. And this creature attacked and nat 20'd. Nat 20'd with, I was using crit cards. So crit card came out and this creature had a ×3 weapon. So I think they were only level 5 or 6 at this point, and I did over 100 and something points of damage and immediately killed them.
Oh my.
And it was like, well, shit.
When I get nat 20s on an NPC, like I'm a player, right? And I'm investigating a situation and I'm asking the GM questions like, hey, I'm investigating. I'm going to roll investigation on this. I'm going to roll persuasion on this. I'm trying to get this information. And when the GM makes a nat 20 on the NPC for their memory or their knowledge base, and I get all the answers, I'm like, yes, I might as well have just got a nat 20. It makes me so happy. I'm just like, thank you. So I like those moments.
I do have another one, but I'm just going to read the chat because Connell has put something on behalf of Fear Cohen's. He was playing a Fading Suns game, was playing a Vorox, which is basically a large Amina.
I love Vorox.
Wookiee.
I love Vorox.
Running and jumping rooftop to rooftop, trying to escape a helicopter. He realized he couldn't get away, so he turns and roars to intimidate. Crit fail, comes out like a kitten mew. He says, fuck it, I'm ripping out a light post and throwing it.
Success, helicopter destroyed in front of the crowd and all. That's funny. Although I have beef to pick now. I didn't realize you could play. I didn't know you could play a Vorox in Fading Suns. I love Fading Suns, like hard. And I didn't know you could play Vorox.
Never played it. Never played Fading Suns.
Okay, here's the thing. It has its faults. It's not the perfect game. There is some chonkiness to it, but it's not like Pathfinder chonky. But it's like space opera.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Dune, but Game of Thrones-ish, but political. It's just check it out. That's all I can say is check it out. It's really good.
Check it out.
But yeah, Fear Cohen's did post a GIF on my Blue Sky, but then didn't tell the story. So I was curious. I was like, is that ever going to get posted? So thank you, Connell, for sharing the story.
That could have been our answer. It could have been, oh, this is what Fear did.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Interpret it however you feel is appropriate.
However you feel.
Actually, now that June's been mentioned, I am interested in trying out the June role-playing game. Did you not know that existed?
What are you talking about?
June.
Oh, Dune. I'm hearing June, like the month of June. I'm like,
well,
what?
You know, I do speak English.
You do speak English. I do not. Or I do not.
Yeah, I can't. I honestly, as much as we have American listeners, I can't bring myself to say Dune. I can't do it. I just cannot do it because it just sounds. Dune. It sounds really, really weird coming out of my mouth. So yeah, I'm sorry. I do apologize to our American listeners.
No, I'm with you there.
For my speaking of English.
I like it. Oh, I like it. What was it? Okay. So I was.
You were. Come on, words. You got this. I believe in you.
This is my problem with anytime I read a gaming book.
That was a really, really interesting soundbite. I think I'm gonna see like the viewership on YouTube for this episode, and there's just gonna be a spike at that point.
Tired Atlas is a problem, but like anytime I read any book, it could be Level Up, it could be Covenant and Crucible, it could be Household, it could be Mutants and Masterminds. If there is a name that I don't know, I will pronounce it wrong. I will try my damnedest, and it will either be Spanish pronunciation or like old school pronunciation, but it's never right. Like in here in New York, okay, we have CHILI as a town. How would you say that?
Okay, say that again because I was looking something up.
CHILI.
Chili.
Right? Yeah. Thank you. No, everybody jumps on my throat like it's chai lai. I'm like, I am so sorry.
can see that. I can see that. Is
And you know, like
you
New
know,
Delhi in India, New Delhi, and
yeah.
we have a New Delhi here, but no, it's New Delhi.
And is it written the same?
Yeah,
See, that's just somebody fucking about.
I know, I know. So like, I'm reading a book, and I was talking about the characters in these books to my friend this weekend, and I'm like, and what's her face when she did the thing with what's her face, and she just kind of she fills in the words for me. I need that for gaming. Like literally, I'll be like, yeah, and the power message, yeah, that, and then I'm gonna use my thing to do the thing.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of times that happens to me, but it's because I get confused between a Spanish pronunciation and an English pronunciation. So if it's
Yeah.
a word that's kind of out of the common
Mhm.
and I can see it pronounced both ways, I'll normally default to Spanish for some reason.
I think English is so hard for me just because with anybody learning English, there's so many weird nuances that it's so hard to like. I'll be reading something and I will read it almost by default in a Spanish rule of language because there is a rule for language the way I learned Spanish. Period. End of story. Whereas, with English, there's what, 12 ways to say there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would hate to have to learn English
Oh, yeah, no. No.
because I didn't. I grew up speaking both. So I didn't have to sit there and learn English. If anything, I had to learn Spanish. I was speaking English before I did Spanish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd hate to sit there and kind of go, is this
I kind of
pronounced
got
chemis?
right. Well, in chat, our friend Steffi just said there's a street that's spelled Beaufort. Everyone here says it Beaufort, and he and Google Maps pronounces it Beaufort.
I'd say
I get
Beaufort.
that.
I'd say
Yeah.
Beaufort because
The
it's a
problem,
French word, French
I
pronunciation.
kind of got jerked around a little bit because like I started learning in California, okay, which is West Coast, okay. And then my heavy developmental years, like my younger ones, were in Georgia, deep south, and Texas. And then my like higher education college years were Midwest. So my dialect and pronunciation is so jacked up. Like people are always like, "Where are you from?" I can't tell because the way you say things. I'm like, "Yes, I'm from all over." It doesn't.
To be fair, the same kind of happened to me. Whereas my sort of initial English comes from the north of England,
Oh, okay.
which I've still got. I've still got that sort of cadence.
Yeah.
But living in Spain for so long and meeting people from all over the world, whether it's Americans, Scandinavians, people from other parts of England, my accent has softened. So to anyone where I live now, which is southern, close to London, sort of part of England, I do still sound northern. But if I go up north, I'll go,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, they sound really, really broad.
Literally just happened to me. It was in New York, and someone was like, your accent has like a little bit of a southern twang to it, and like it really doesn't anymore compared to how it used to. Then I'll go back down south, and they're like, "Oh, you got a little bit of a weird northern accent." And then I go deeper south, and they're going, "What words are you speaking?"
Well, my partner is still fucked off the fact that I don't sound like Antonio Banderas.
Did she get gypped? Does she feel like she got gypped?
Yeah, she got massively swindled. She got catfished like a motherfucker. Because, we met and we're chatting and this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, I'm a Spaniard living in the UK. So she was expecting me to be wearing like a bullfighter's costume, have a rose in my fucking mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And she turns around and here's me with my lovely Dorset tones. And she's like, well, shit.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
She still puts up with me 2 years later.
That's wonderful. I love that. Congratulations. I'm happy for y'all.
Thank you.
I had the weirdest, I'm going to say it's a compliment because I'm refusing to take it as anything but a compliment. I work from home and I work on the phones. So a lot of my coworkers on my team have never seen my face until a few weeks ago. We had a whole team meeting, cameras on, right? And everybody's going to see each other's faces for the first time. And a lot of people are definitely catfishers. We're like, whoa, like we did not realize. And one of my teammates literally like is staring really hard in the camera, and we're all going, "What are y'all staring at? What are you staring at?" And she goes like, "Yeah, no, like you look exactly how you sound." And I'm like,
that's fair.
thanks.
You can't fault that.
I know I'm taking, like I said, I'm taking it as a compliment. But ever since then, the back of my mind is going, what does that mean? Like, what does that
Well,
mean?
the amount of people that comment on our videos and clips, and I must have like a very similar look to a lot of fucking YouTubers.
Really?
Yeah, because people have there was one the other day, it was like, I thought it was this person, and that YouTuber's been dead for however long.
Maybe you just
And
need
it was a comment, it was like, I'm not gonna respond to that because that I made absolutely upset people. But yeah, it was like I thought that
whoops.
this person was back, and then someone else is going, I thought Mersh had whoever the fuck this person is. And it sounds very dismissive me saying that, and it's not because these
Yeah.
people aren't necessarily popular influencers.
Yeah, no,
It's because
I get
I
it.
have zero knowledge
Yeah.
of this whole world. So yeah, it's like, oh yeah,
That's,
I thought
to be honest,
it's
sometimes that's
weird.
me in the gaming world. That's me in the gaming world sometimes. Like, I'll be on threads and people are making a big deal about, like, creator, like, oh yeah, you don't know so and so, they're so popular, and I'm like, I have never heard of them, and I feel bad. And I don't say that though, because I don't want to be like, I've never heard of them. They're no, because I don't want to come across like, oh, I didn't know who that was. But like, I don't know who these people are sometimes. I'm just like, oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, I know it comes off as that's why I don't respond, because I part of me is going who,
No,
but I don't want to sound dismissive because
exactly.
it's not that they're not popular. It's I'm just
We
disconnected.
live under a rock. Yeah, we
Yeah.
we are very disconnected. Like, we love the hobby, we love the community, but like, I don't follow everybody's
Nah, me either.
schedule or like advertisement. I don't know what's going on or who's who. Like, if I like their stuff, I like their stuff. If you're my friend, I'm your friend. Like, it's not complicated. But yeah, no. People are like, oh yeah, da 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 da. And I'm going, I don't know if that's a person, a program, or a game, so I'm just
No,
not gonna comment.
yeah, same here. I don't bother.
It's like, okay, cool.
So, should we take a look at the junk this week?
Yeah, show me your
Nearly. That would have been the perfect clip. That would have been amazing. That would have been so
I caught
good.
myself. I caught
You
myself.
did, and I congratulate you on
Thank
doing
you.
so.
I did
'Cause
it.
That would have been.
it.
I think it's still going to be a clip, but it's going to be a clip where it highlights the fact that you stopped yourself, as opposed to how it could have gone.
How it could have gone. Atlas is learning motor function control, y'all. It just took a little bit of tiredness.
Well done. So the junk this week.
Mhm.
I have picked two things for now. Depending on time, I may find something. I've got something else lined up, but these are two things that were sent to us. One of them was sent to us way back when, like in the early days of the podcast, and I kind of didn't do anything with it because it was 5e. I kind of left it there for Justin to take a look at, but that never really materialized. And it just dawned on me today that, we could
Let's
take a look at this.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay, so the first thing is from Critfail Press.
Great. Already here for it.
And it is.
Also, by the way, anybody watching or hearing, if you can see my face and I look absolutely bored with something, I promise I'm just tired. That was like when we played Fabula for the first time with Couch, and he was like, were you miserable the whole time? I'm like, no, it was great. I was just thinking really hard. And Connell was like, yeah, no, her thinking face is like that. He goes, oh, I thought you were angry. I'm like, no, I just, you either get me awake or you get function. Oh.
Okay, so this was sent to us like last year. And it's the Dungeons of Saltmarsh, and it's the Depths of the Dwarven Mine, and it is done by Critfail Press.
I love Saltmarsh.
Now, reading the introduction, because obviously Wizards of the Coast they released a hardcover adventure, or is it an anthology called The Ghosts of Saltmarsh?
Mm-hmm.
So what this person did, apparently there is a dwarven mine in that adventure, but it is just mentioned. So what this is an elaboration of that. And it is fantastic. It's a full adventure. It's fully contained. And it includes all the information you need for the actual mine itself, but also for the mining village that surrounds it.
Ooh, okay.
So this person has taken a Wizards of the Coast adventure and found a specific part of that and elaborated on it, and very, very in-depth. It's a 30-page PDF.
Oh my God.
And yeah, just kind of scrolling through it. I mean, this is one of the things I was talking about, whereas I had no interest in in looking or even bothering with it before because of the
That's
fact that
so
it's
cool
5e.
though.
But now that I'm, gonna be leaning into Savage Pathfinder, there's no
Yeah.
saying that I can't
Yeah.
play this at some point.
Absolutely.
And just, I mean, it's a simple enough conversion. It shouldn't be hard to do. But
No.
yeah, there's a village overview. There's all the information. There's even maps of the mining village. It is a fantastic, fantastic product.
I
And
love that.
I'm just sorry it's taken me so long to get to it. But,
Almost like
because
you shouldn't blow something off just because it's 5e right away.
I would have done anyway because it's 5e. But if I'm gonna take a look at something, I want to give it an honest opinion.
Yeah.
And if I've got no interest in the system
No,
that
that's
it's
fair.
based in, then, I'm going to focus on things that I would genuinely play. So the idea was for someone else to take a look at this, but that never materialized. But yeah, so you've got all these levels of the mine.
Ooh, nice picture.
Yeah, I'd be
Oh
interested.
my
Yeah,
god.
that is really good artwork, to be fair.
I really hope that's real.
I want to see who we can credit for that.
Yeah, find out if it's real because I'm gonna be heartbroken if it's not.
The designer is Michael Coons, who also did the cover art, graphic design, Michael Coons and Travis Markle. There's nothing about the actual image itself. It could
but
be
I could find it.
I mean, we could always do a reverse.
Yeah. Anyways,
but it is a very nice image.
It really is.
Oh,
Like,
to
really,
be fair, because it is connected to the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, it could be a Wizards of the Coast image.
It could be. I just don't know.
This is a Dungeons Guild.
Saltmarsh.
This is a Dungeons Guild product, so
I love Saltmarsh. Like that.
So yeah, with it being Dungeons Guild, I think they do have the right to use that imagery, so it could quite well be that.
Could be. I like that the maps aren't like detailed. It's just kind of like, here's a general idea. Do what you want with it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're detailed enough.
Yeah. Oh, God,
you have the information that you need. You don't.
Yep.
You don't necessarily need to see everything that goes on, because that as a player, that can be counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
And as a GM, it kind of locks you in a lot of times. Oh, the map shows this. Well, yeah, but it's not there.
Yeah, that's why I like vague maps, because it's like they're pretty, they're there, but like I don't have to worry about like, 5 feet this way, 5 feet that way. Like I prefer theater of the mind, but I do like a few visual aids here and there, especially when it's complicated. Like my first dwarven mine experience was that first campaign I was talking to you about. The GM at the time had a brilliant concept that I kind of want to steal and run with, because I don't even think they run anymore. We all had a falling out at the table. But the dwarves were miners. They were underground because their land, like topside, was such volatile storm land. Like it was uninhabitable, like lightning striking the same place hundreds of times, like just dangerous storm weather. So they just burrowed. I loved that idea. I was like,
no, that is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it's not just like, I found a mountain and I like treasure. It's straight up like, no, we are like badass survivors of shitty weather. I was for it. And then I made a really cool NPC for that world, but that's beside the point. You don't see a lot of dwarven sailors, let's just put it that way.
No, that is fair.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool as hell, but yeah.
Okay, so the other thing I found was, I got it more as a curiosity thing. It was a free download, and by a publisher you may have heard of them, called NASA.
No, not like.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. I think I vaguely heard about this.
Yeah, so this is something that caught my attention, and I thought I'd take a look at it. This is The Lost Universe. It is a adventure that was published by NASA.
Sammy, did you send this to me? Put it in the chat. I feel like somebody sent this to me, but go ahead.
So Sam is definitely excited about this.
She did. She's like, I probably sent it to you. Yeah, okay. I was like, I remember this vaguely, but I haven't.
So I will admit, I haven't really looked into this very, very
well, let's
much.
take a look. There's a dragon and a satellite. I'm here for it.
There you go. So it's an adventure designed for a party of 4 to 7 level 4 to 7 level 7 to 10 characters. So it's relatively
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
high level. So it is a single session. The first part of the game is an introduction to the world and the city the players find themselves in. I don't really know too much about this, but I just thought it was really interesting that NASA would. There's a TTRPG player working at NASA who's gone, hey guys, I've got an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I love this so much. Like, well, because NASA's creepy in the first place. I wanted to be an astronaut. There's two things I wanted to be as a little kid. I wanted to be an astronaut. And then I realized you have to be good at math. That wasn't going to happen. And I wanted to be a fighter pilot. And I was gypped an inch. You have to be 5'5", or at least at the time you had to be 5'5", and I'm only 5'4". But no, like, NASA's creepy as hell because there's that whole conspiracy thing about, like, they studied the ocean, then they found something, they dropped and defunded all their ocean exploration, which we haven't even found that much yet, and then immediately went into space to, like, how do we get off this island or this planet? So I'm here for them coming up with an adventure story. I'd be super suspicious. I wonder how many conspiracy theorists are, like, combing through this book, being like, what did they tell us?
Oh yes, if you take every letter of this paragraph, it sells hello.
The dragon's name backwards is the satellite name of the new race they found under our tectonic plates. I'm probably pissing someone off right now. I'm sorry. I shouldn't make fun of people.
Don't worry, you get used to it. I like pissing people off.
But I do, like, they are creepy. That concept of they were water and then just quit cold turkey and went to space, that is a little creepy. But I love this. This is so cool.
This is really cool. I am going to spend some time reading through this because it does sound quite interesting.
Yeah.
And it is a fully contained adventure where you've got the lore, you've got the backstory, you've got the location, you've got the NPCs. So it is very much pick up and play.
I love that.
I wonder.
I like it when they do all the hard work for me. Ooh, pretty picture.
You've got very pretty. And we don't have any dispute about where they've got this particular artwork from.
Yeah, right? Beef to pick with NASA. Is that the squirrels? I have squirrels in my roof.
Sorry. You got squirrels in your roof. Fair enough. But yeah, so it's a fully formed adventure, 44 pages long. It was free. I think it still is.
Ooh.
But yes.
Oh, it's pretty.
It is. You know, and NASA can use their own images, which is awesome.
About freaking time somebody was... Never mind. I'm not going to get into that mess.
I do. I mean, that's obviously generated.
So wait, is it fantasy or is it sci-fi? I am so confused at this point.
I have no idea.
Dark matter? There's satellite. But all their font and stuff is so, like, fantasy script. What the heifer? Are those nebulous?
So I think it is sci-fi. I think it is a sci-fi game.
Ladywood down to here. This looks so cool. Oh my gosh, it's like actual diagrams. And like, that's like a fantasy map. What the hell is going on with this game?
I don't know. I think I need to investigate more.
Yeah.
Or it might be like science fantasy because I think there's a lot.
I love those.
So, NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, adventure design Christina Mitchell, graphic design Michelle Belleville, and development and editing a whole bunch of people. But yeah, illustrations are from iStock apparently.
What the hell? What the actual hell? What the hell, right? NASA? You had one job. One job.
But yeah, this was version 1.1, I do believe. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you're into your space stuff.
I'm so hard into space stuff. Definitely the squirrels.
I may create some Savage Worlds characters for my kids and get them to play this, to be fair.
Now I want to make a Void Runner game, and that was not in my bingo card for this year.
So yeah, that is the junk for this week. That is the last of the 5e junk.
Man.
Which is handy because I don't have that much. I mean, the other thing I was going to mention is not going to catch anyone by surprise, but it's done by a friend of mine. It's Carbon 2140. Is it 2144? I forget the numbers. But it is quite popular, so it's not gonna. There's gonna be very few listeners that kind of go, I don't know that. But it is actually done by someone who lives in my town and who is a friend of mine.
Oh my god. Chat looked up NASA game. You play scientists transported to a fantasy world after the Hubble scope disappears.
Interesting.
Fucking sign me up. Let's go. Let's go. I want to play that. Oh my God. I want to play that. I want to play it so bad.
So that's going to be an entire clip of Atlas just doing that. Just that is going to be a clip. It's going to be excited. Because it was very much puppy-like, Atlas. That was very much.
Someone once told me, it's funny. Someone saw me with a dog for the first time, and they legit were like, "You make so much more sense now." And I'm like, okay.
I can imagine you match that energy massively.
It's space fantasy. Let's go.
All right. Well, with that, that's about all we've got time for this evening.
Happy 5e, happy May. We'll see everybody in June for our Pride Month series.
Good riddance, 5e. You can now disappear off my... I can once again block those words on threads.
There you go.
Oh, thank fuck for that. It's been an avalanche.
Oh my God, John.
Oh my God, you have no idea
better
how
coping skills, my friend.
Yeah, I do have coping skills. It's just blocks it out of my...
better ones.
I had to fucking endure that for a month.
Oh my God.
All right. Anyways, I want to thank everyone who's joined us this evening in the chat. Guys, we love you. Thanks for your amazing questions. Thanks for all your feedback. And thanks for your input. Atlas, thank you for joining me this evening. You want to tell people whereabouts on the interwebs they can find you?
Yeah, hit me up on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. Atlas Ursa. Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear.
As for me, you can find me in all those places. On Threads and Instagram, I'm Too Legit to Crit. On Blue Sky, which is more of a personal account for me, I'm Natural Juan. So please send me a blue ski. Didn't think I'd forgotten about that. Also, come join our Facebook group, join our Discord, where we chat general shit. If you want to support us, you can just give us a like, give us a subscribe. Tell your friends about us. If you want to support us more directly, you can visit our merch store at toolegit2crit.uk. But we've also got a website, which is toolegit2crit.com. And yeah, we've also got a Ko-fi if you want to subscribe to our $3 a month tier, where you can join our Traveller's Chalice chat, where we actually discuss a bit more about the goings on and the future of the podcast. But most importantly of all, I want to thank everyone who's taken time out of their busy day listening to two idiots waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much, and good night, everybody.